Well, in short, I think one word can summarize it, and that's politics. Although OPEC Plus has agreed to increase its production, it's increased it by a very little amount, 100,000 barrels of oil a day, which really is negligible. It's not really enough to change the oil markets at all, for the long run at least. President Biden went to meet with Mohammed bin Salman to agree a much more substantial increase, and he left with something which is very, very different. Although it's a small win, I don't think it will be seen as something substantial for the oil markets, which are so important, especially during such such crises which are everywhere.
Yes, but Russia, in the end, now is selling its own oil at a reduced price to countries like China, which sounds like they're trying to live with this situation. But can the West do the same with the continuation of the war in the Ukraine?
Well, not only to China, but also to Hungary, India, and any other buyer. Russian crude has been sold at a massive discount, which has helped many refineries across the world because it's increased their margins now, where when they sell the refined oil to different companies, they're making a lot more money than before. But Europe is in a very difficult position because on one side, they are wanting to restrict the export of oil and gas into Europe from Russia, but on the other hand, they're very relieved, for example, when grains are able to be exported out of both Ukraine and Russia through the Black Sea. And this goes to show how difficult the situation is now in global commodities markets, and Europe is trying to find a responsible and long-term approach to this, but it's very difficult.
Until now, Mr. Murati, it seems to us that Moscow's position emanates from who should have control of the reins of the situation, like the turbines in the Gazprom affair or their negotiations and what it's based on. To what extent can the West bear the continuation of the situation?
Not for much longer, especially if they want to have a population which doesn't look towards the political extremes for solutions to this kind of problem. Now, in my definition, power is the ability of a nation state to secure their own interests. And that's what everyone is trying to do right now. Russia, Germany, the UK and the US, many others as well. But when you have a position where you have a producer of such massive amounts of commodities like Russia and you're dependent on them, then you must play a game which at times is not in your best interest because you didn't think in the long term to hedge these risks. And that's the position that Europe is in now. And they're facing the consequences of this in a great way.